D-Star repeater that we plan to deploy. Dwayne and I bought one. They had a tremendous sale at Ham Radio, and Dwayne did a lot of work and got the computer network interface up. So now it's viable, and if you have a D-Star radio at home, you can connect to this over the internet if you have a hotspot. How many, just out of curiosity, how many have a D-Star radio? You guys need to buy some. Hamfest coming up. Anyway, so eventually we'll deploy that, and right now the plan is to probably put that down at Newcastle. We're thinking too that we are gonna probably do an incremental thing with this. Dwayne's got a fiberglass antenna. We're gonna stick that up, mounted fairly low, but that'll get it on the air, and that'll help us drive a stake in the ground, and then also assess how well that works and what kind of coverage we get. Eventually that'll be one of, yeah, you'll like that. Eventually that'll be up on the tower with the 2-1 repeater. Now the other bit of news is we started paying the bill. All this time we've not had to pay the bill for the electricity at the site in Newcastle. So Sam and I went down yesterday and got that all doctored up, so we're good to go. And if you want to cover that or wait till next meeting, we just let it go.
I'll throw it out. Yeah, we went down yesterday. It cost us $430 to transfer the account into our name, so we'll be paying the bill. It's hard to tell what's going on. Well, 400 of that is a deposit that we'll get back. If we pay our bill on time for 12 months, we get that 400 back. So it really didn't, it's just a deposit that they charge for the first year. $30 or $5, we had to join the Oklahoma Electric Cooperative. That's a $5 membership fee, and then $25 to turn it on, which that's their fee. So that's where the 430 went. So we paid that, and you know, we asked the young lady to look, and I really don't understand the rates or anything yet. It was very hard to deal with her. She had like a 2-inch, or no, at least an inch of bulletproof plexiglass we were trying to talk through. It's like, I asked her, I said, you don't have to record this part, Bill. But I asked her, I said, so you piss a lot of people off? Somebody's gonna come in here with a gun? She laughed. She said, we do get some upset people in here from time to time. But anyway, we went and got it transferred over, and now I have access on the web. Unfortunately, I can't see any history as far as how much electricity's been used down there. She looked at her screen. By the way, this has been paid by the TV station all this time, even though the building belonged to the Heartland Tower. The TV station's been paying the electric bill, and they finally realized that.
Yeah,
So,
channel 4.
What, KOCO? Who had
Channel
that?
4.
Channel 4. It's
KFOR.
KFOR, okay.
Yeah.
Mike Morgan's group.
Anyway, so if you see them, thank them for paying the electric for 2 years for us. But anyway, she said, just looking at it, it looks like the bill is going to be about $85, average about $85 a month. And
Ouch.
I'm logged in. I now can log in and look at the rates and all that. Dave and I talked about this. We don't know why it would be that much. There's a security light. We're not even running a repeater. You know,
Well,
why it-
part of it was it's zoned as a commercial property, so
Right.
we got a commercial rate. Now, we're gonna wait till our first bill comes in and see what we learned in the meantime. We're gonna go back and appeal, since we're a nonprofit organization, we can get a reduced rate, which we talked about a couple years ago. So,
They talked to us a couple years ago, but she didn't seem, the girl we were talking to yesterday didn't seem to know anything about it.
so anyway, we'll approach that here shortly, so that we should be able to get a break on that. So that's largely what it is, the commercial rate. And we knew that going in, and I've informed all you guys of that 3 or 4 years ago. Yes, Steve?
You said we're a not-for-profit. That's not wholly accurate. We're not a non-profit, we are a non-for-profit. There's a difference.
And the
So-
difference is?
Well, one of them, you can, if it's a non-profit, you can claim it on your taxes as when people donate to a non-profit, they can claim it on their taxes. A not-for-profit is D4 or something like that. And basically, you can't claim it on your taxes, and they don't normally give special breaks for it. So,
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to, kind of take it one step at a time here. We're gonna get it in our name and we'll see what
Right,
happens.
exactly.
Good idea, sorry.
Ask them.
And the other thing is, there other people have expressed an interest to put something on the tower. If that still exists, we'll be able to share that cost. So that may get reduced even further. Any questions about that?
Is that still in line to be an Arden node some point in time?
Yes, whenever the other participants
That's the
get their
Norman?
stuff. Huh?
That's the Norman guys?
Yeah.
That's one of them, yeah. But there's several sites, like just north of here, that Norman Medical Center, that they just built a couple year or two ago. That's a relay point, so it's ideally suited for that, but it's contingent on what the other people do. So we can't expedite that, unfortunately. So, anyway, that's how we hope to achieve free internet connectivity, is once we get these other Arden sites up and as part of the mesh. That's a different subject. If you have any questions about Arden, we can talk about that too. But that's starting to materialize more as a mesh rather than a point-to-point backbone as we originally deployed it. And the one last thing is, now that the weather appears to be making a turn, Wednesday is advertised as 74 degrees, I gotta see that. So it looks like the weather started to make the turn, so the heat is on to go down to Newcastle and finish up any prep work we gotta do, and then work with Matt Garcia and get the coax attached to the tower and mounted off. The antenna's down there, except for the UHF antenna that you got.
What are you looking at day-wise? Any help?
Probably, what, Monday or Tuesday? Wednesday, we have something, Wednesday afternoon. So Monday or Tuesday, what's best for Newcastle?
Either day, I guess.
Either one of those days, what works for you?
I'm good any day.
Okay.
I'm just
All
looking
right,
at
we'll
days.
coordinate that after the
Wednesday and
meeting.
Thursday are bad for me, but
Yeah.
Monday and Tuesday are good if you want me to.
So any questions about any of that?
Do we need other people?
Well, we are gonna need people for cleanup, because the back cage there's some growth that occurred last summer. We've gotta go whack all that down, put some weed killer on it, and get it under control again.
Going to do that next week too?
Wouldn't be a bad idea to start. I'll bring some tools. You can too, have an electric chainsaw and a few little things we'll need.
How big are these weeds? Cool.
Well, I'll
Wait, you
take.
said your weeds to get a
Why
chainsaw.
don't you, well, there's a small, I think it's a cedar tree in there
Yeah.
that grew once before that we took out. But this is a massive thing of weeds. You're not gonna take your little weed whacker and cut it. So, anyway, I'll be, requesting some assistance with that.
I've got a weed whacker that'll do it, I guarantee you.
In our VE report, we